Welcome to our Doors and Locks module. It is important to make sure that your doors have a fire rating that is the same as the walls. You should check with your local fire code to determine what is required in your area. Doors act as a deterrent and should resist forcible entry. Your doors should be solid core to protect breach and also to protect fire from spreading. Your doors should not open outward unless this is required by the code in your area. If that is required, then you should have sealed hinge pins in order to prevent an individual from removing the door to enter your building. Door frames should be connected to wall studs in order to resist force, and you should make sure that you affix doors to the frame with a minimum of 3 secure hinges. Depending on the type of area that you are trying to protect, you may want to consider using some monitored or alarmed doors. Most of the time, emergency exit doors must be marked and must include panic bars. If you are using electronic door locks, you should consider whether you want to use fail-safe or fail-secure doors. Fail-safe are designed to be safe for your employees and visitors and will automatically unlock if a power outage occurs so that individuals can safely evacuate the building. Fail-secure doors will fail in a locked position if power is lost, and this will protect from individuals being able to enter your building if the power goes out. You should be familiar with the difference between fail-safe and fail-secure doors for the CISSP examination. You should also have sufficient lighting outside of your exterior doors to provide some security to deter intruders and also to provide safety for your employees. You should focus your efforts to place the best levels of protection in the most critical areas. There are 3 primary types of door locks: something you have, such as a key or a radio frequency ID card, something you know, such as a combination or a cipher lock, and something you are, like a biometric lock that uses an employee's fingerprint to grant access. You should use commercial grade or higher quality door locks because conventional locks can be easily picked, can be defeated with bump keys, and keys can be easily duplicated. A bump key is a tool commonly used by intruders to gain access to a locked door that they do not have a key to, and you should be familiar with the term bump key for the CISSP examination. With conventional locks, you have to worry about how you're going to distribute keys to your employees and how you will recover keys from employees who are no longer with the company. You also have to worry about employees making unauthorized copies of the keys, so even when you take back the key that you issued them, they still have another copy and therefore can access your facility. You should look at more expensive pick and bump resistant locks that are harder to pick and the keys are harder to duplicate. Here you still have to worry about distributing the keys to your employees and recovering the keys when they leave the company, which is why combination locks are very useful. When an employee leaves the company, you can simply change the combination and not have to worry about recovering their key. There are many different types of locks. We can use metal keys and locks, deadbolt locks, which are good, warded locks, which have restricted keys that are harder to copy, combination locks, which can be unlocked with a combination, cipher locks, which use either a keypad or push-button lock to control access. Cable locks are very useful for laptops and other electronic devices to prevent individuals from stealing them from the building. You can also use sophisticated electronic access control, which do not require keys. These systems work off of RFID cards or biometrics in order to provide authorized individuals with access into different areas. You should make sure that you use the lock correctly because a lock is only as secure as what you're putting it on. You cannot buy a $5,000 lock and put it on a $20 hollow door and expect to have security. The intruder will simply break the door. You should also consider whether to use fail-safe locks, which are good for your personnel, or fail-secure locks, which will increase the security of your building. Electronic combination locks or cipher locks allow employees to use something that they know to gain access to the facility. These combinations should be changed at least every 12 months, as well as every time when an employee leaves the company and when you believe there is a possible compromise. With keycard systems, the user can take an item that they have, such as an RFID card or a swipe card, and access the door using that card. RFID systems are very convenient because the user is not required to swipe, But these systems can be cloned without having any physical contact with the employee. High-end systems will allow you to control when people can enter and exit the building, such as certain hours of the day. They can also create sophisticated logs, so you will know when employees enter and leave the building, and you can use this in case of an incident to determine who was in the building when an event occurred. Finally, biometric systems use something you are, such as a fingerprint or facial recognition, to allow an enrolled individual to unlock the door once they provide proof of their identity. This concludes our Doors and Locks module. Thank you for watching.